I made a huge mistake, and unfortunately, I am now going to be returning these beautiful panels from Gick because of it. The mistake that I made was I thought that I could take this entire wall, and I thought that I could just put panels on it, and then I could cover up those panels with more Guilford of Maine black cloth. And I thought that that acoustic cloth would just like create a nice, seamless, flat wall. It would look beautiful, and it would have these high quality products, because I had heard that Gick made the best acoustic products. I had actually run that plan by a Gick designer, and she said, like, that sounds awesome. Like, you'll love that. And she mocked up how many panels, would fit onto that wall. The thing that I didn't realize, and she didn't point out either, was that there's so many obstructions on this wall. I had sent her a photo, by the way, but there's a lot of obstructions. You've got like this utility closet, you've got this vent, you've got, outlets, you've got like a sensor. Obviously there's the space in the middle where the TV connects. But there's a bunch of obstructions there. And once I got the panels in my home, and then it became so much more real. And immediately my brain switched over, and I realized like what I would have to do to get this to work. And I didn't feel comfortable like cutting out baseboard. I didn't feel comfortable trying to figure out some way for the panels to open up with that utility closet door. And I also didn't feel confident that I could leave large gaps in there and yet still have the wall be flat with the acoustic fabric on top of it. So the bottom line is, I think that if you're buying panels from Gick, the best way to go is to just kind of use the panels the way that they're intended to be used. Like, they're intended to be simply mounted to a wall like this, and then you can remove them at any time. You can, like, you'll still have your wall beneath it, right? You don't need to like remove the baseboard or do any kind of weird construction. You just mount them. Like, that's what these things are really designed for. They're not really designed to be making an acoustic wall. In reality, if you do want to make an acoustic wall, then what you should do is really simple. Like, you just take this product here and you kind of reverse engineer it, right? So this is a 5¼ inch thick panel. That's Gick 244 panel. And what they have is they have like a 1/4 inch over here. Oops, trying to show you. A 1/4 inch like of the fabric, right? Then what they most likely have is 3½ inch of a product that you can get at Home Depot called Safe and Sound Rock Wool. Okay, ROCKWOLL. And then they have 1½ inch at the end that is empty, like this. It's just a void. And what happens is when the bass frequencies or any frequencies pass through here, a lot of them get absorbed in this, but this emptiness also serves a purpose of something related to especially the deeper notes on the spectrum, right? Like those low bass frequencies. So anyway, that's all you need. You just need the Guilford of Maine black acoustic cloth, which you can get pretty cheap. You need from Home Depot the rock wool, from Safe and Sound. It's 3½ inches thick. And then you need to leave an air gap of 1½ inch. And that'll give you the effect of having these Gick 244 panels. But then you don't need to build it in a modular way. Instead, you can actually build it in a custom way. If you're good with woodwork, then you can like frame that up yourself. If you're not good with woodwork, then you could hire a contractor to do it for you. One other observation that I learned just from having these panels in my home is that ChatGPT's estimates of what the panels will do to your space are very, very accurate. There is an app called, it's called something like Clap. Let me double check it. It is called Clap Reverb. And if you download this on the iOS App Store, Clap Reverb, then you can actually measure the RT60 in your space. And it'll give you measurements for like 2000 hertz, 1000 hertz, and I forget, maybe like 400 hertz, something like that. You can take a screenshot of that, give it to ChatGPT, and then tell it the dimensions of your space. Tell it the length, the width, the height. And then if you have an open floor plan like I do, also mention the dimensions of those adjacent spaces. Like I've got my kitchen and then my entryway, because that is all part of the RT60. And then you can tell it, hey, what would 5 GIC 244 panels do to the RT60 in my space? Please estimate for the different frequencies and put them on a table. 2000 hertz, 1000 hertz, 400 hertz, maybe 200 hertz, 80 hertz, 40 hertz. What I found is that ChatGPT estimated this within 10% of the actual results that I measured once I brought these panels back into the space. So ChatGPT is extremely accurate at being able to estimate RT60. And that means that you can actually find out exactly what you'd need to be able to hit the measurements that you're targeting. Most people are trying to get it within to an RT60 of about half a second. Whereas like an untreated room is often going to be a whole second. And that means that there's just a lot of echoing going on, right? And then you want thicker panels if you're trying to really get tight, clean bass, which is just really hard to do without thickness. Like ideally, if you want super low frequencies, you would get the GIC monster panels, which probably have the thicker Safe and Sound Rockwool product inside. Like these ones have, I'm pretty sure, the 3.5 inch of Rockwool. Their thickest panels are 7 inches thick. And so those ones probably have the 5 inches of Rockwool plus 2 inches of air gap behind the Rockwool. So anyway, long story short, the GIC panels were good. They're a nice product. If you're going to just hang them on the wall, I'd just probably suggest get them in the same color as your wall so that they're seamless, or a very close matching color so that they're going to be pleasant to look at. I got these in black because I was planning to cover the whole dang wall with black and I didn't want to see anything poking through, but it was a mistake. And I guess I still learned a little bit, and it helped me to advance this whole project and my thinking around what needed to happen for the outcome that I was really going for. And unfortunately, in the meantime, I am going to kind of incur a $200 cost to ship these back to Atlanta, and then poor GIC's going to have to sell these things open box. But I think that's just part of the process of figuring out what are you going to do, how can you get it done. Before I had these panels, I just didn't know too much about what to do for treating this space. And since I had heard GIC was like the best for acoustic treatment, I thought, great, I'll use their panels and I'll make it work. I didn't realize you really have to go custom if you're trying to get that seamless look as opposed to a panel look. So bottom line, use the panels the way they're meant to be used, as panels on a wall. Now, if you'd like to see the video where I unbox these things, just click right up here and I'll be happy to show that to you.